Got a question coming in from Net Frazier. As a CISO and working from home, how was the upper management outlook on permanently shifting positions full time to work from home?
I have personally, my last organization went full time from home and reduced office space, and it was obvious that they were in it for the long haul. The current organization is 100% work from home. I don't see any issues with it. I think from a high level, overview of the, being the executive over security, I don't have any specific concerns or worries about it. I'm fine with my team being virtualized. I'm fine with having a proper tech stack in place so that my whole company can be, remote. I said virtualized, I meant remote. I don't know where that word came from. Virtual staff. That's the next thing coming, man.
Right.
So having all that being said, I'm fine with it from a security perspective, executive perspective. I've got no beef with it at all. Now, as an executive and not a security executive, are there concerns? Sure. There's always that concern that Timmy is napping and Jane is actually doing something else altogether. And, you hear the horror stories of the employee who's not even working for the company, but actually has a second job and is just taking in 2 paychecks. And, there's horror stories that abound. And obviously there's a great amount of trust of personnel that has to be there. It's totally possible as an executive to build and create a culture of trust, a culture of respect, and still have that culture be one where we know everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing working from home.
Right.
There's a certain amount of accountability that can be there. You don't have to be draconian about it at all. I think work from home gives us new flexibilities that we didn't have before. I mean, example, yesterday afternoon, I ran to the vet real quick for 30 minutes and got rabies tags for my dog,
Right.
just a quick run. But I also know that my boss knows I was up early and working before the workday and also probably checking emails that night and whatever else it might be. I would argue that truly the work from home scenario, in my experience and the experience of those I'm close to, seems to have resulted in people working more, not less. And it's because it's really hard to draw that boundary line and say, I am at home now, right?
Right. So that's what I was going to ask you that. I actually have 2 questions for myself personally. So are you finding right now that, because before you used to have water cooler talk, right? You used to get up from your desk, Jane, John, Lee would walk by and you kind of chit chat. You'd take a little bit of a break. You'd go to the water cooler, the lunchroom, whatever that may be, and you talk. But now you're at home.
Right.
There is not, it's back-to-back meetings, and you get up in the morning, you sit at your office, whatever that means, your kitchen table to maybe an office you've set at home, and now you keep working.
Right. So there's a couple of solutions to that I've run into, and a couple of these, I can't claim credit for any of them. These are all ones I've stolen and borrowed from other people. So one is with your team, you create a Zoom meeting in the morning that has everybody in it. That's just sort of minimized and in the desktop, right?
Right.
Just tuck it down in the corner somewhere and ignore it and leave it until you need it. You pop up. And basically, it's like a live chat room sort of approach towards video. It's not the same conference that they're having in their actual daily meetings. And obviously, you mute it while you're having your daily meetings. But the idea is if you're not in meetings, you've kind of got this open forum arena sort of thing where you can get together with people and have casual chat, throw ideas over the fence, share a screen or two, have a quick, chat over coffee, just to have the team able to be in touch with each other sort of real time and live throughout the day in an open way that no one's obligated or expected, but you can sort of pop in and out throughout the day and everybody's there doing the same. And you get some of that sort of that water cooler talk, right? That's one idea. And then the other idea is really going out of your way to make sure you schedule events and things like, my last company, we had a once a month, everybody wore their masks and sat pretty far from one another, but we'd still meet up for a lunch somewhere on occasion. We had scheduled Zoom events that were fun events that weren't just work events. Right now, the vendors are trying really, really hard to come up with new and clever ways to replace the taking you to a steak lunch kind of thing, right? And so there's people doing, whiskey tastings, and there's people doing coffee tastings, and there's, interactive cheese slicing and whatever all these crazy things are that's going on. Don't be afraid as a leader to book your team for some of that stuff, right? Take advantage of it and say, hey, I'm going to bring 3 of my team. We're all going to hang out and slice cheese together for, a Friday afternoon, take an hour off and do that. So take advantage of those things as well.
Okay. Now, putting on the CISO hat, with everything that's changing on, are you because I know it's like the C level, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it's looking at revenues, looking at kind of how to be more cost savings for the environment in the sense of the infrastructure, the operations costs, capital X costs, like all that. Are you finding the work from home now? People are looking at letting go, like their different locations, because now they don't need the lease, they don't need that property, and it's saving.
Yeah, absolutely. I can name a few companies right off the top of my head where building was originally 10 floors. They sent everybody home and now they've reduced it down to 1 floor, or they got rid of 3 entire buildings and they've kept 1 building, or whatever it might be. There's plenty of organizations that have decided to embrace work from home, get rid of the commercial real estate. I would not want to be in commercial real estate right now because I don't, I haven't been tracking the prices, but I'm sure they're just plummeting. Even now with the return, we're starting to see some businesses returning. I still think that more businesses rather than fewer actually decided to cut back on commercial real estate and allow some degree of permanent work from home. Even if they're setting up hoteling or something like that, you're still jettisoning some permanent real estate, right?
Right.
And I think that's part of it. There is a definite cost savings there. I think the fear of work from home was in every executive's mind before COVID, right?
Right.
And then COVID hit, and whether we wanted it or not, guess what? We got it. And everybody started to look at it and realize it's not so bad. Work is still getting done. Meetings are still happening. Progress is still being made. And then you start eyeing that cost of that empty building over there, and you think, let's get rid of that lease. So.
Right. Yeah.